You sound like Star Jones.
Are you ready for this one? UCR. We saying what we want, give it to you non-stop. Any place, anytime, not afraid to speak our mind. That's just the way we roll, we never gonna go. Unstoppable, original, uncensored radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I think it's like Thursday, maybe. I lose track in the time void that has now become our lives, but it's super exciting. Miss Katrina is back. We've got her on live tonight. And then we've, of course, got Mr. Lips is in the house. How you doing, Lips?
Hello, everybody.
And then we got the Dingo, the Dunkaroo. He's dying. He's off night shift, but he's here.
Hey, everyone.
Miss Katie has got a very cranky baby, so she's off tonight, and I don't know what happened to Vera. Hopefully one of the mental patients didn't escape and get her. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited I can spit because, you know, I've talked about it. I love it. The thing about Harry is just so heartwarming, and Peter Paige is here, and we're going to talk about the thing about Harry and so much more. I can't wait to find out what he's wearing. So we're going to get into that in a minute, but here's a little clip of the thing about Harry.
I did not march on Washington and act up and fight AIDS for all of those years so that you could waste your life locked in that malodorous bedroom, furiously masturbating to what can only be described as moderately shameful amateur pornography.
Welcome, Peter.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
I did not realize we were going to be on camera. I would have done a little something here, but this is
I hit the bronzer real quick. That's all I've done for them.
Powder down the old dome or something. I mean, Jesus.
You look fabulous.
Yeah.
Look, oh my God, it's totally my embarrassing story. So when we started talking and we were on Twitter and you said something about being like Zoomable or whatever, I'm like, this dude is going to think I'm nuts. Because then I said some like, I don't know, something about the camera loves you. And then I just started rambling and I'm like, oh my God, shut up.
If it makes you feel better, I don't even remember that. So.
Oh, I was losing it. But then you like said something really dirty in an interview and I was like, oh, it's fine.
Oh.
You're our people.
Yeah. I did get famous for Queer as Folk, is where it all started. So
Right. Yeah. Well, you posted that photo. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, what are we wearing an actual outfit today, or just
not really? I mean, I am wearing clothes, but not. I'm wearing bottoms, but I'm wearing like these very comfy kind of like tight sweat things. There we go. Kick.
And he's flexible.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's showgirl stuff.
Yeah, you got that right.
We never did get a sequel. Maybe we could get that moving.
Which sequel for what?
Showgirls.
Oh, got it. Sure. I'm down. I can washing machine.
Multi-talented.
Thank you.
Yes. So I saw the thing about Harry and I was like, oh my gosh. I started doing all this research about you because I'm like, I haven't, I knew the Fosters was out and you've been doing all these crazy things and your career's been pretty fascinating to me.
Thank you.
You did Queer as Folk, like that kind of came out right as I was turning 18, going to the club.
All right, I get it. You're super young. I get it.
I'm turning 40. I'm a single father. I've already been married, divorced. I adopted 3 kids. I'm over here like, I'm living the Fosters now. Like I can't go. It's 9 o'clock. I gotta go to bed. But and then I watched. My first gay movie was Trick. That that's all that there was. I don't
absolutely
really remember anything else. So and then Will and Grace was kind of there, and that was what it was. But Queer as Folk was like, all right, these boys getting down to business. Okay.
Absolutely.
When I was young, I was so like scared to watch those shows because like Queer as Folk was on and I think it was aired on SBS here in Australia, which was like a network that wasn't so popular because it was like a taboo show because people would just talk about it like, because I was still in high school, I think, when it was out, and like I was so afraid to watch it because I didn't want to like it. I was a little bit scared of, of probably who I was at the time. So it was later in life, and like when I was living in the city, and all of we had the circle of friends, we would actually get together and we'd have queer as folk parties where we would sit and watch queer as folk and like, have dinner and have drinks. And that's when I really got into the show. And it was amazing because I was sort of able to then go, yeah, well, that's me.
Well, I'm glad you found it eventually.
He ain't that young. Don't let him play.
You bitch.
That bitch is covered in so much makeup right now, it ain't funny. No. And then now I'm watching this movie that was made for TV about a pansexual character, and it's following them through multiple years and telling this complete story. And I was just kind of mind fucked that we're telling this on TV by a man who kind of played this groundbreaking character that was on TV, even though it was, a paid for channel, but it was still groundbreaking TV to see it. And it was also so, but I mean, I kind of wish the movie was on Showtime because then we could have seen a little more fun stuff, but I'm just saying.
They let me do a lot of fun stuff, quite frankly. I was amazed. That sex scene, that was the first cut of that sex scene. The standards and practices did not make me change a frame of it, which was really shocking to me because it's
TV for a gay movie. I was very shocked.
Yeah, considering if you know what they're doing, you know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love that sequence. That's my favorite part of the movie. That whole act, the wedding into that scene.
It is phenomenal. It is perfect. It was, yeah. It really the way the camera is going around them in that moment, and it kind of flips back. It really is just until they wake up, bitch. We won't even go there.
It can't all be smooth sailing, or there's no movie.
No, right. I'm just like, I think probably a lot of us have had a Harry.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a Harry?
Oh, honey, I've had a bunch of Harrys. I've had a bunch of Harrys. That's why I know how to write a movie like that. There's another writer credited on that movie. I have to say that or I get in trouble. There was a writer who did earlier drafts of the film, and then I took it over and rewrote it and directed it.
Yeah. Well, I saw in another interview you were telling a story, and it was fun. I was so captivated by it. But this man's name was Terry, and you kind of referred to him as like an Apollo. And you kind of just dropped the story and left us hanging. Did anybody?
I saw that. I watched that interview.
That is a story of that's my first love. That's
right. And
yeah.
You get to the end of it and you're like, it was perfect. We were on a beach. I leaned over and kissed him. He's like, I dig you. And I'm like, all invested in this story. And the clip ends and it's like, that's it. Like,
and then
like,
what happened? Where's the rest?
I'm like,
Where's the
what the
happily
fuck?
ever after?
That it was not a happily ever after, but we did have a really amazing summer. That was an amazing summer. He's a lot of Harry, actually. There's a lot of Harry and Terry.
Whatever happened to the girlfriend?
Katrina's like, what happened to the bitch that could have been me?
I mean, did I get written out of the story? What happened?
He broke up with the girlfriend as soon as we started even dating in secret. Yeah, she wasn't with us that summer, so I think it was sort of easy. But
see, I had a little bit of a story like that but I was the first one, so I was the girlfriend, but this guy didn't want to be gay, and I don't think he was gay actually. And he ended up like cutting it off with me because he got a girlfriend at school, and now they're married and have like 6 kids or something. So I'm just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, all right, it worked out.
Okay. Yeah, party.
So was Apollo like fully Apollo?
He's one of the most beautiful men I've ever seen. He was stunning. He went on to become a soap actor. That'll tell you how handsome he was.
Oh yeah, he's perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
we get it.
exactly.
Enough said. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So
All right.
anyway, we had breakfast a few years ago and just caught up and.
But wait, Peter, after you guys separated, like, is he with men now or women now?
Oh, he's with men. He's with men. He's
With
gay.
men.
I think. I
Loving
mean,
the
as
day.
far as I know, I haven't. I don't know otherwise.
Be like, oops, he's married, his 2 kids. My bad. That was when. So, do you not talk about your personal life, or you just not asked?
I mean, somewhere in the middle, I suppose. I mean, I'm an oversharer by nature, so I'd probably answer most questions, but there are some that I wouldn't.
An overshare, that's perfect for this show.
Good to know.
So then I have a question. Do you have a quarantine bay?
I do not. Yes, this is my quarantine bay right there.
Ah, me too. That's sad.
Let's get real. This is my quarantine bay. Hi, everybody. Say hi. How you doing, man? Why'd you got to do me dirty last night? Like, yeah, no. I have not been touched by human hands in 4 weeks as of tomorrow.
Is that because of COVID?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's because of COVID. What kind of question is that, Luke?
Not every.
Go flush your backwards
Hey,
toilet.
I'm just
Jesus.
asking because our outbreak only started about 3 weeks ago, so I was just clarifying.
Yes, we were 4 weeks ago tomorrow. I was directing. We were on set, and at lunch, they rounded us all up and said, "Go home." So,
Oh wow! So it's just shut down, and that's it.
yeah.
Is it stood down though, like it will resume, or limbo?
Yeah, I assume it'll resume at some point, but nobody knows when. I mean, it's a very strange feeling. We're doing a pretty good job of flattening the curve here in California, but in the rest of the country, it's really hard to say how it's going to play out. So nobody knows quite what's going to happen.
Yeah, look.
Where'd you guys go? Oh, there you are.
What were you in the middle of filming?
I was directing the season premiere of Good Trouble.
Oh.
Yeah, because look, there was a production here when COVID first broke out, and Tom Hanks got infected here in Australia, and it was by one of the people that were acting in the film, and so the whole production obviously shut down from that. And now Tom and his wife, they've recovered, but they're back over there in the States, and I guess that film may or may not resume. I don't know what. Like, there's nothing really been more said about it in the media here.
I suspect it will resume at some point, but I'm truly, I don't know that it's, people were talking about like June. I was like, I don't think so. Maybe just talk about September, maybe, but it's feeling to me like we're in for a rough year.
Oh.
So it's hard to imagine.
It's just you in your hand for 2020.
Well, hey, it's been me in my hand for more than 1 year before that, so.
Carpal tunnel. Yeah, you and me both, boo. This whole single dad thing, like, I'm not getting divorced. I was like, I'm going to be an independent bitch, okay? Like, I was a hoe for a little bit. Was like, I'm going to be a single dad and rock this. I lost a bunch of weight. Then I got fat again. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like this.
New Zealand posted a news article yesterday saying that because they're in full lockdown, like you can't even go and get a hamburger there or anything. And their sex toy sales tripled.
I believe it.
Why wouldn't they? By the way, New Zealand's also kicking its ass. Like, they're talking about how in a couple weeks they'll be able to open up society again.
Yeah, look, their prime minister's amazing though. She is like really amazing. Yeah, she's ran that country so well. Like, it's so inspiring to see. Actually, kind of wish our prime minister was a little bit like her. But
what happens when a woman's in control? Just saying.
You said it for me.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a fight from me. So
I'll say that. I mean, just because I have lighting that, at least in this camera, makes me look like him, doesn't mean I like him.
Look like who?
I just feel like in my camera, I look orange, and it's just.
You look a little bit peach blossom.
Yes, I call him like that. He wears peach blossom foundation from like the dollar store. You know what I mean? It's that peach blossom that some idiot lets him wear, and then he doesn't know how to put it on. But I say that with love, in case.
Why hasn't he blended it into his eyes? Like, come on, like.
I think it's a tanning bed, and he wears the glasses.
Listen,
he's gonna die of melanoma.
Probably.
Okay, we love the president. He's our leader. Listen. So the thing about Harry is just Harry's wonderful.
Thank
I'm
you.
so in love with him. You like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad the movie spoke to you. I'm super proud of it. It came together really fast. I wrote it last summer. I got to shoot it in the fall, and it came out in February. So it was a crazy ride, but I couldn't be more proud of it. Jake Borelli, who plays Sam, is so brilliant, and it brings so much depth to the movie. Nico Taro, that was his first on-camera job ever as an actor.
Really?
And he just has charm for days, and my God, that face, and he's really such a special guy. And Britt Barron, who plays Stasia, Sam's best friend, is so brilliant, I think. And Karam, there they are. Oh, my children, my beautiful people. I love them so much. And Karamo came and did a great little cameo for us, which was awesome. And so we had a really wonderful time making the movie, and I couldn't be more proud of how it turned out. If you're listening and you haven't seen it and you want to see it, the best thing you can do right now is buy it on iTunes. It is only $2.99, and you will own it forever and want to watch it more than once. What?
I went and bought it.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, when they took it off Hulu, I was so mad because I watched it a few times because it was fun.
Thank you. I mean, that's what rom-coms are for. They're supposed to make you feel good, and you want to go back on. You want to get back on the roller coaster again. So that's very much what's the goal.
It's been a while, okay, Trick. You know what I mean? I'm Tori Spelling, I love her, and I'm like, and sue, I can't sue it because we'll get sued. But I'm like, it's fun, but I'm a little older now. Okay, this one's cute, it's new. I'm like, I want to be 18 again and go hang out with the straight guy that went to prison. He's out on parole. I think I should call him.
That seems like a great idea, Jeffrey.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing.
That seems like a great idea.
But I thought the soundtrack was great. It was playing in the perfect moments.
Thank you.
It just lined up so well. And I didn't think any part of it was forced, or it had such a great flow to it. And I thought the roles were kind of switched. That the guy that was that you thought would be all over the place, that was the pan guy, that people wouldn't understand, wanted the family, where the gay guy was kind of like, nah, I'm trying to do the career, and that people would be like, oh.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. To me, they just those are the guys in my head, and I tried to tell their story as honestly as I could. But I hear you. You're right. That is interesting.
Oh, see? And I'm in my head, I was like, that's an interesting way to tell it. I think, the gay dude would be like, I want the kids and the blah, 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 blah.
Oh, but Jeff, are you that shocked? Really? Look at us. How many guys do we really know, though, that want to have children? They all say they want to. A lot of gay guys say, oh, yeah, I want a family. But, push comes to shove. Are you single?
No, now I want to go give my kids back. I'm kidding. I love my kids. Casey Anthony, call me. I got a babysitting gig for you.
Well, Jeffrey, it's very dark. It's very dark.
But no, look, I'm serious about that though. Because I had my child through surrogacy, and my partner kind of disappeared on her first birthday, and ever since then, she's 3 on Monday. So in 2 days, it's Good Friday here, guys. So hello from tomorrow.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Buffy.
Her name is Buffy. And I've just stayed sick. Like, obviously, I haven't even dated once. I haven't even tried.
You
And
have
I
a
kind of
3-year-old.
feel a little bit, well, I feel a little bit ostracized from the gay community. Just because my life's so different from the guys that I talk to ever are just like doing all these different things. And I'm like, yeah, I'm watching Paw Patrol.
And bubble guppies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, I understand that, but you'll find a guy. You'll find a guy who wants to, who's down for that ride. You will. He's out there.
I hope so. And look, I'll stay optimistic. I might, get tipsy a lot in the meantime, but I'll be cool.
I feel like everyone's getting tipsy right now. It's perfectly acceptable. You can have wine for breakfast. It's fine.
I wish I could, but it's not midday yet. It's still 11:21 a.m. here. If I did it now, everyone would be like, "You got a problem."
Well, I'm doing my quarantine in Las Vegas, and everybody is drinking by 11 a.m.
Oh, you
Really?
lucky
That's just
shit.
standard
They said-
operating procedure here.
Alcohol
Everyone
sales
used to-
are up something
Oh,
crazy.
huge time. Yeah. Everyone used to be working in the nightclubs and, used to party for a living. Well, they just now all brought the party indoors.
Got the party home.
Well, liquor stores here are an essential service. They are not shutting down.
I agree with that 100%.
Even like licensed restaurants and stuff, like they were never allowed to like sell takeaway liquor, have all just been given the green light, like sell it to the public. Just sell it.
I think that's brilliant. Yeah, they shut down the liquor stores here, but you can still place large orders from Costco and all the grocery stores, and all of the
Get 'em
grocery
delivered.
stores are very well stocked. So not to worry, everyone is still in good shape.
It's kind of encouraging cupboard drinking, though, I think. Like, because you'll be isolated too. So you're going to be just like on your own. Not that I have a problem with that. But
Well, also,
what's going to become of all of this at the end? Like, there'll be a lot of therapy.
I mean, I already
There are going to be a lot of divorces too, for sure.
and some babies. I think a lot of people, not us, but I think other people are busy making babies right now. Because what else are you going to do to shut up your partner that's annoying you?
Why don't you give me a baby?
Yeah.
I've already told the foster care agency I'm done. I'm not doing it no more. Don't call me.
They're going to be beating the door down.
Look, I don't know how. I used to have 9 kids. I'm like, I'm good.
Wow.
We're done.
That's amazing. My goodness.
No, my husband and I, we had a house full. Like on the weekends, we did therapeutic foster care. So it was
Therapeutic for everyone but you.
No, I loved it. We really had a great time. I really did. But when you were doing that, I had a daycare, the businesses. We were doing the radio show while we were doing it. Back when we were, and then traveling to conventions because the other girl was on Power Rangers. So we were going to all the fan conventions. Like, it was intense, and that's tough to do when you have a family. So, watching the Fosters, it was a very interesting show to watch when we were kind of living that life, as 2 gay fathers with, one daughter was Puerto Rican who had a baby and then had a 2-year-old. And then we had another child, and we had all different, it was just crazy. It really was interesting to kind of watch our life on TV.
Well, thanks. I mean, that's why we created the show. We wanted to do a family drama, and we, sort of looked around and we're like, what hasn't been done in that space? And we were like, a queer, there were, at the time, there were a lot of gay dads on TV. There was, The New Normal was just coming on, I think. And Glee and Modern Family. And like, they were mostly comic, but at least they were there. And when that sort of struck us that like, there were no gay moms on TV. No. And almost every lesbian couple I know has kids. So I was like, This is like a no brainer. And I'm really proud that that's what we got to create.
No, and I thought that was, oh my God, the new normal. That was such a funny show. I was so mad when that got canceled. But you were right that there really wasn't lesbian couples at the time. So that was kind of, and most of my lesbian friends all have kids. None of the gay guys I know. Now I have one other gay guy couple that has kids, but it's really all my lesbian friends. And they were like, what about us?
But when you get to be my age, everybody, I'm like the only one of my friends who doesn't have kids, basically. I have one straight couple, but everyone else has kids. Really? Yeah. It's all my gay friends, all my lesbian friends, all my straight friends. Everybody's got kids.
Well, all of my friends are usually like 10 to 15 years older than me. So I've always been behind the curve. But because I had the daycare, I was always the one to be like, look, can you take my kid for the weekend? I hate them. And I just want to get drunk and have sex with my husband. What am I going to say? And my husband would be like, dude, are they ever taking their kid back? You know what I mean? Like, I can't do this. But I and you really covered like all the bases on that show. Like you really covered everybody.
We tried.
You had people transitioning on the show. You really covered the spectrum of.
Thanks. We were fortunate. We got to make 104 episodes of that show. That's kind of unheard of in this day and age. So, so we had a lot of time and a lot of ground to cover. So we were fortunate that we got to tell a lot of stories that we wanted to.
Yeah. What was the one quote that I saw that it was called the like gayest show on television?
Sure. Right? I've been on that show multiple times. The Fosters
doing it for a while.
But what I mean, that's kind of really a compliment when you think about it. I mean, some people could say like, but I mean, you really kind of are a groundbreaker in that respect for so many people. I mean, they really look up to you. That's an awesome thing, and you've done so much. There was another interview that I was watching that you were talking about all the charities you did, like especially when you were on Queer as Folk, and how afterwards you were so exhausted, you just dropped down to one because you were like, I need to kind of channel my energy into what's most important.
Yeah, I was on the board of the LGBT Center here in LA until this year. I just retired in December.
Wow.
So yeah, it was great. Look, I've been given a lot, and I tried to give back as much as I could. You know, I've been very, very lucky, and I just, try to pay it forward.
I think that's it just stands to your character as a person and what you've done. And I think the fact that you keep putting shows on that really speak to what people are going through, says a lot.
And gay youth now too, like really, we're giving, you're giving them so much,
just take credit.
Really, like that sense of normalcy though, because we didn't see it though, growing up. We didn't. Yep. That's why I was scared of Queer as Folk, because I was just like holy shit, because I hadn't seen anything like it, so it frightened me at first. And now, I think a lot of kids growing up, especially you see it with all these drag race kids and that, it's just so normal to them. Drag was so taboo as well. Right. Because I used to be a drag queen, believe it or not. I was just oh my God. People would ostracize you, but now it's cool. And I think that's great.
It's amazing.
Kid wants to do drag, go for it, man.
Representation matters. I don't care what anybody says. It matters. It matters what you see. We as a culture have chosen television as kind of the great arbiter of truth. And if you're not there, you're invisible. And so I'm so proud that I've been able to put so many, or be a part of putting so many LGBTQ images into the conversation.
And it's amazing. And you know what? And just being part of the LGBTQ community, I just want to thank you for being so brave, because you've been there since the beginning, really.
Thanks very much.
And not afraid to just go for it.
Thanks. Well, it doesn't mean I wasn't afraid sometimes, but I'm glad I did it.
I want to know when you started writing and directing.
So when I got Queer as Folk, that was like, I had been in LA for a while and I'd been testing for a lot of series, but not getting them. I was I was one of the other choices to play Jack. Like I had come in on Will and Grace, and like I'd come really close to a few big jobs. And but when I finally got Queer as Folk, I was so grateful and so happy. And once I sort of settled into that job and knew how to do it, I realized like, oh, I want to be writing and directing. I want to be doing more of the storytelling. Because when you're an actor on a TV show, you're really a crafts person in the service of somebody else's vision.
Mm-hmm. You've been there, Katrina. You know that girl.
I get it.
So you know, which is great, and you can be a good crafts person or a lousy one, and it doesn't mean there's not a lot of challenge and reward and value in that experience. But I really wanted to be, be more of the voice of the show, and so I started writing and directing. I wrote a feature that I directed between seasons 4 and 5 of Queer. That was a great experience, and that just sort of told me like, oh yeah, that's the direction you need to be going in. So after that, I got a writing partner. We were very fortunate. We kind of the second thing we ever wrote, we sold. The third thing we wrote, we sold, and that just started us on a path of writing pilots, not getting them made, and then finally we got to the Fosters. So.
Well, that's quite a journey. That's amazing.
Thanks.
I think that's a lot different than if you had been Jack.
Yes.
Your character, I think, was a lot more human, a lot more well-rounded.
Thank you very much. I love Sean and I love what he did with Jack. I think Jack is hilarious. But it was interesting. The first season of Queer as Folk, somebody wrote a review where they were like, Sorry, Emmett, you've been outflamed by Jack already, or something like that. And I was there. I was like, I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Like at all.
That's not.
That's not. Like that's not real.
That's not a real person, and that it's fine and hilarious. But we were after such different things. I was like that's it's tantamount to saying sort of like, you know, I don't know. Sorry, George Jefferson. There's no place for a black character on a 1-hour drama. Like I was like, it's the whole format's different. Like, how are we being reduced to, just because we're both gay shows? Like, how are we being reduced to a 1-to-1 comparison? So
exactly, and like, and look, the nature of Will and Grace being a sitcom, you know, like Jack had to stay just Jack, just Jack.
Right.
Whereas Emmett really, you know, he was like a slow growth. Like he changed between season 1 and season 5 of Emmett is just completely different characters almost. Yeah, because he did grow.
We got to grow him up, yeah, for sure.
Whereas Will and Grace, they really try and keep, you know, Jack and Karen and everyone the same as much as they can to keep that magic going.
Yeah, you're right.
Emmett, like super hung or something.
There
wasn't that the thing.
He was.
Where are you going with this, Jeff?
I'm just saying, like, it was just hitting on me because one of the whole big things is like, oh, Emmett's so femme, and what's my last name?
Yeah, we know.
Right? So what do you think I got the whole time the show was on? Oh, you got a femmy voice. You're Emmett. I'm like, yeah, well, he's hung, so there, go fuck off. You know? So I'm saying.
That was my least... When Emmett became the internet porn star, that was my least favorite story of all 5 seasons. Because I was like, shooting it was like making porn. It was like we were in a cold, drafty warehouse. They had cameras set up everywhere, and I was like pretending to jerk off. And I was like, I am.
Was it really
actually
uncomfortable?
Doing porn like,
yeah, I would die.
I would have really thought that it was an honor, though. I would have embraced it as getting to be, you know, the queen.
I will say this. I was grateful that they saw Emmett, who was the most effeminate of those guys, the queeniest of those guys, that they saw him as a full sexual being, that they saw him as a romantic being, that they saw him as the hero of his own life. Like they didn't, you know what I mean? They did not push him to the sidelines. They came to me while we were shooting the pilot and they said, we didn't think we'd get an actor for this role. We thought we'd get a funny, quippy queen and who would just kind of stand on the sidelines and comment on everybody else's life.
Be a placeholder.
Who you are, we love what you're doing, and we're going to write to you. but we've already written the first 8 scripts and we didn't know we had you. So just give us a little bit of time and space. And they really did, to their credit. They really, really did. They wrote all sorts of beautiful things for him. So
That's amazing.
And the dead guy in the frickin'
the airplane.
Oh my God.
George Schickel.
I can't. I'm gonna start geeking my mind out. I can't even think about it.
That scene was, first of all, it was hell to shoot. But that's one of my favorite scenes of all 5 seasons, because it's a scene you will never see anywhere else. You know?
I've never, like, my sense of humor is so morbid. Like, it's not right. Like, my uncle, like, we were bitching about it all week, okay? Like, I got updates with that. He just died, right? And I'm like losing it because he died on a Friday. Like, he was so rude. And so
Peter, he was telling people not to call him at certain hours because it's rude. And they were crying, saying, he's dead, he's dead. He's like, I don't care, bitch.
Call me back. You know, like, I'm like, call me back on Sunday during business hours. I can't be bothered. Like, you know, he'll still be dead on Sunday. Don't mess up my weekend. You know. I took care of him when he was alive. We ain't allowed to say, call me back on Sunday. We don't do death on Friday. Don't mess up happy hour. So that scene, like when he died and you lose it, I just start cracking because it's so good that it's real, and I just can't. I just start cracking. And my friends, like when we watched it live, they're crying. They are like devastated. They're like, no, and I'm just hysterical.
You're a little sick in the head, Jeffrey.
Yeah,
a little.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it was just so amazing. I'm like, could you imagine?
Yeah, I could, and I did.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm like, I could not. There's no way. No matter how much money you put in front of my face, I could never have got through that scene. I don't know how you did it.
It hurt a lot. My knees kept getting banged into the walls because there was no room in there. Those airplane bathrooms are very, very small. Poor Bruce. Bruce actually passed away a couple of years ago. He was a good guy. Bruce Gray, the actor who played George Schickel.
Oh.
I know. It's crazy. Getting old. It's weird.
I don't recommend it.
Kat, you look like you're about 12, so I don't.
Oh,
think you're
thanks.
good
It's
like
this
that.
light
it?
because I haven't had Botox in a good few months because this pandemic. It's really messing up my flow.
You know the dermatologist's office is going to be packed when this is all
Oh, I
said and done.
know. Mm-hmm.
She might still be able to play a good Ross Perot.
I don't know. I hope not.
She used to do a great impression of him on All That.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
The
my
good old
God.
days.
So, going back to the thing about Harry, one of the, listen, you don't understand this movie. I can't. Okay, there's like a trinity now. I've got Trick. What was the one with Dean Cain, the Heartbreak Club, right?
No, Broken Hearts Club.
Yes.
I was almost in that movie too.
Oh,
Interestingly, the Billy Porter part. Billy Porter beat me out for that movie, and I beat him out for Queer as Folk.
So you got that bitch back.
That worked out.
But then he got a Tony, and now he's on Pose, and
at first I was gonna say, listen, I'm gonna come to California, but this is over, and I'm gonna take him out of the kneecap for you.
no.
But No, I'm glad you.
Jeffrey's deathly afraid to fly. So how are you gonna get there? Boo?
Yeah.
How are you gonna walk?
He has to now. There's no flights anyway.
There won't be much traffic if you drive, but please don't. Billy's the best. Here's a great story. So we tested against each other for Queer as Folk. I got it. We fast forward to 9 months later. The show's finally coming in the air. I go to the premiere, and I look over, and Billy's standing there, and he walks up to me. We just screened it, and he walked up to me, and he was like, "Now I know why I didn't get that part."
Oh.
He said, and I was literally like, I would no more have, if I didn't get that job, I would no more have gone to that premiere. I'd have been home eating my sour grapes. Like, absolutely not. And he was so classy and so generous and so understood that like some jobs just aren't your job and some jobs are your job. And he, you know, he's definitely getting his jobs. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy for him for the moment that he's having.
Well, that's an amazing, I think, philosophy to have about it all, right? I think that's the way you have to be.
You have to.
In that business, in any way, shape, or form.
And especially for young actors, because, you know, you find like, you know, when you're rejected for something, for any job you go for, you tend to go to a personal place where like, oh shit, like what was wrong with me? But sometimes it's just, it wasn't nothing wrong with you. It was just, it wasn't for you. Someone else embodied what it needed.
In Hollywood, that's 95% of the job is people telling you no, you're not getting it.
Oh, yeah.
Go try again. Like that's 95% of it. So you know, it's a very you require a lot of resilience, and the sooner you learn that most of the time it has nothing to do with you, the better, because it's so much the energy I wasted being jealous of other people and you know, wanting what they had and all of that stuff. I just wish I could go back in time and tell myself like, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna find your way. Relax.
So that can be all of your advice for young and upcoming Hollywood.
That is, in fact, my advice. You're exactly right. You will find your path. Take care of yourself. Stay sane.
And Hollywood is so unpredictable too. I mean, it's shut down now, but
no shit.
That's unpredictable.
But yeah, like you don't know. It's like a lotto, really, isn't it? Like right place, right time, right role. Like you just got to be there. Check it all off.
I had a manager who said to me once, he's like, "It's Hollywood is Vegas. It's a slot machine. Yep. You just got to go and keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling, and at some point." Your numbers will come up.
Well, and I heard that in one of the interviews too, you talked about like after Queer spoke, the roles kind of changed. People didn't want you because you played Emmett, and that's how they saw you as the Emmett guy. And the thing is, when I watched in interviews and just, I mean, that's not you.
Yeah, no, Emmett was a character, which yeah. I take as a compliment that nobody knew that. I take as a compliment that people thought that was me, but and I learned a lot from him. I loved Emmett and I loved playing him, and it was really good for me to play him. He taught me a lot, but yeah, no, there were a lot of roles like before Queer as Folk. I would test to play like the shitty boss or the crazy assistant or the weird creepy neighbor or like the funny guy next door. That weren't necessarily gay, and after Queer as Folk, that all went away.
Well, what show did you play the crazy boss?
I know it was like I would you know test for pilots, things like that.
No,
yeah.
Actually, wasn't there one of them? Yeah. I'm trying to think of what show was you guested on that I like remember you in, and I can't.
Where I played a crazy boss.
You played some. I just remember you coming in, and I think you were rather mean.
I'm sure that happened more than once. I played like a crazy security guard on Girlfriends. I played a nervous undertaker on Suddenly Susan, my very first job.
But Peter, I was so excited when I realized that you were in Rick and Steve.
I was Steve.
I loved Rick and Steve.
Rick and Steve is one of the funniest things ever made. That is all the genius of Alan Broca. He is so fucking funny. He's just amazing. And that was all him. I was like a puppet. It was like he had his hand right up my, and
I didn't even realize Margaret Cho was in that until like halfway through the season. And I'm like, I know that voice.
Margaret Cho, Alan Cumming, Wilson Cruz. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was a really fun show. And I'm sorry, do you know that show won the International Festival of Animation, beating out Simpsons, Family Guy, like everything.
No.
Wow.
Its first season. Yeah. It was very, very, very well received. And we only got to do 2 seasons of it. And I'd go back in a heartbeat because I just think the show was so hilarious and inappropriate.
You hear that, Hollywood? You can make Rick and Steve while Hollywood shut down. You could do it
Well-
from home.
I'm not sure they can do animation from home, but maybe they can. I actually don't know.
They could
I
like
can't.
isolate. They could do the isolation thing.
Sure.
Everyone's
Sure.
6 feet away.
Work inside big bubbles. Everyone works in big plastic bubbles. Just,
They can figure it out. They
Yeah.
can figure out how to animate from home.
so.
They can do it on the computer. They can make it work. Damn it! Somebody call somebody. Make it happen.
Yeah.
We want Rick and
'Cause
Steve
we're
season
important
3.
here, whether you like to admit it or not. You don't know, but we are. Do it, damn it. Oh my God. So, and it just went like that.
The next question you were going to ask me, is that what you mean?
Well, I was.
Yes, I think that's what.
He's drawn a blank.
No, it's because I just. Because he was talking about the inappropriate show, and then I read this one note that I took that it was, and I can't quite remember the story, but it had something to do with him jerking off under a table. I don't really know. I'm not sure.
Okay, well,
I can't say I
Jeffrey,
remember either, which is saying something in and of itself.
I know. And I was
speaking
just
of
like,
under the table, Jeffrey, do you have pants on right now?
I do. I wore the button down, and then I have sweatpants on. I almost wore a hoodie. But I wanted
Actually,
to.
Peter, I wanted to talk about you did like an interview on a talk show in Canada, and you
Oh,
showed up
yeah.
with Krispy Kremes, and you
Oh
like
my
feeding
God.
them to the audience. And
that
I was
guy-
watching it, and then Jeff was like, because then like Jeff had showed me the link, and I messaged Jeff, and I'm like, I sort of took the host as being funny and jibing, but then at times I was like, is he being rude? Like, did you find him being rude, or was he just like chilling?
No, I loved him and he loved me. He was lovely. He had me on a couple times, and he I mean, he's a
time.
it was a different time. He was a Canadian,
Yeah.
you know, he was a Canadian, a good old boy. But
Yeah.
but he loved the show, and
He was like, I'm sick of looking at your ass.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else do you want to see? So like it looked okay because I loved like comics like, you know, Don Rickles and like Joan Rivers. So I got like that it was meant to be funny, and you looked like you were having fun.
Oh yeah, I was absolutely having fun. I had a blast. I really, I knew enough to enjoy the ride. I have to say that. I worked so hard to get
And he
there,
was
but I
high
knew
on
enough to enjoy
Krispy
it.
Kremes at the time. That
Also
sugar
possible.
rush bad's like.
I for 5 years on Queer as Folk, I barely ate any carbs. So because we could be called upon to be naked at any given moment. So
Yeah.
I'm sure having a donut in my blood was like, just like,
The only thing that he said that really kind of twisted me was he was like, "Were you Rosie O'Donnell?" I was like, "This bitch," because she's coming on next week, and I'm like, "This son of a bitch is talking shit about Rosie."
Rosie,
That's your
she's been
Rosie,
married,
Jeff.
she came and did Queer with us, and then she came and did the Fosters.
I think it
Oh,
was just
right,
because
right,
she
that's
had
right,
her
I
show
forgot.
was giving things away to the audience. That's
Oh.
why.
Right.
That's why
There
I
you go.
thought.
Oh, right. There you go. Thank you.
There you go, yeah. And he was
Well,
feeding them
I didn't
Krispy
remember that.
Kremes.
Queer as folk.
Yeah, she was on Queer as Folk.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
said
it's all
they called her and asked her if she wanted to do it, and she said yes, as long as she could kiss Sharon Glass.
Yeah. yes. Cagney and Lacey. Oh my God. Yeah, I love Rosie. Yeah, she'll be on next week with us. So she's a riot. We're in Twitter.
Oh, she will? She's gonna be on next week with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
she's on.
Amazing. Good. You guys will have a
so
good
cute.
time. She's great. Tell her I say hi, please.
I will.
We
I
will.
Or you can pop in and say hi if you want to.
Good to
Because
know.
you don't have a life.
Anything else?
Yeah, come on, Jeff.
Oh my God. There's actually so much else. So I'm just so trippy right now.
Yeah,
Are you literally
chocolate.
tripping right now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Jeff, are you a fanboy right now?
Okay, I kind of gotta admit, I struggle a little bit because he's just a little sexy, kind of, maybe sort of a little bit.
Well, thank you. I've never been accused of flummoxing someone with my sexiness before, but I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of happened a little bit. I didn't think I'd really get flustered, and it could be because it's been like a year and a half, you know.
So Peter, what are you doing like work-wise now that like COVID shut everything down? And like obviously
the only thing it hasn't shut down is writing.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
I delivered just today. I delivered a pilot, a third draft of a pilot for a network, and hopefully we're waiting to close another deal of a show. So I'll start writing that one soon. So it's keeping me busy, and I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I have a few hours of work every day.
I was going to say, yeah, like this quiet time too, like for a writer is able to give you that quiet time where you can really give it your all, you know, all the other noise is gone.
Yeah, well, except for the fact, to be perfectly honest, I'm having trouble concentrating in this time because there's that low grade kind of constant anxiety of like, what's really going on and how long is this going to be going on? All that is kind of always with me. So I have to really like parent myself. I have to like talk to myself like a grown up and be like, no, sit down, get off Twitter, you know, and just write. So, but yes, it is nice to have time for sure.
Yeah, you are very, very prompt on Twitter. It's kind of nice.
Thanks. I have, like I said, it's me and this guy in this here. So I need somebody to talk to.
So, what are your next projects that are you working on? Are you working on more movies? You're working on more shows? What do you have?
More shows. I have a couple pilots in the works. So we'll see how everything plays out. I think this disruption is gonna be big in Hollywood. I think it's gonna change a lot of things. I think.
I think it's going to really like let a lot of creativity thrive as well. I think when everything starts back up, there's going to be some cool things happening.
I hope so. I hope that that's true. I also think the studios and networks are going to use this as an opportunity to reorganize and kill projects and pick up new ones, and and so we'll see. It's all going to continue to be a big ride. So, but that's why we get in the business.
And now with all this craziness, I know people have asked for years. Is there any talk about you all like getting together for another panel reunion of queer as folk?
Well, interestingly, we're gonna do. It's not announced yet, and I probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
We won't tell.
We're gonna do a a little virtual convention, virtual queer as folk convention to benefit Centerlink, which is the organization of all the LGBT centers in the country.
Oh,
and
that's so great.
So yeah, that I think is tentatively scheduled for May 1st. We're just working out all the details now, but we're going to try to raise some good money for some good people. Yeah, it'll be good to see all my peeps again. I mean, I love all them. We're all in pretty close contact still anyway. So
where can our audience find that? They want
news about that you'll find like on my Twitter page. I'm at the Peter Paige, Paige at Twitter, and Scott Lowell. You can there it is. Oh, look at that! Way to come!
Look at Jay, go for it. Yeah.
And Scott Lowell, my beloved Scott Lowell, who played Teddy on Queer. He's spearheading the whole thing. So if you follow him on Instagram or Twitter, you'll get the best and most reliable information.
Perfect.
So,
well, thank you so much for taking the time out to come.
Absolutely, it's been an absolute pleasure, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
for your support of the movie, and be well, stay safe.
Thank you so much, Peter. It's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. Be well, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, and as he's going, here's another clip from the movie you can check out.
Are you flirting with that guy?
What?
The lost Kardashian brother. As long as we keep it in the friend zone, we're good.
We're gonna need a lot more alcohol.
I'm just wild about it.
You should be all over that.
And he's just wild about it.
You're so into him. Are you guys like a thing? It's pretty much straight.
I love this song!
Did not see that coming.
He's just wild about me.
Oh.
I
I
wanted
hate
more. Where's the rest?
Just cut just off.
It's
But you know what though? I really haven't seen the film, so I'm watching it like after we go off.
I am too. Movie night.
Oh,
Yeah.
you people.
Movie night, and then afterwards, like
I was a mess with this movie. I can't lie.
Oh my God, that was the other thing. Dude, I was like, I'm having like horrible sound and like audio issues, and like, well, you guys are like, what's going on with Jeffrey? Like, you have no idea that like a person came into my house and is like standing over here. So you guys are looking at me to like ask him questions, and like I've got myself muted and I'm trying not to react facially, and I'm just standing silent because I'm trying not to scream or like do anything.
I thought you were possessed. Okay. I saw some hand motions. I saw some things.
I thought he was having a seizure. I was like, does he have a Betty Alert bracelet?
I'm having like audio issues.
But here's the thing. I knew what was going on because she texted me and let me know she was coming. So I knew the whole time. I just wasn't able to let you know.
And I'm like, your keys jiggle, and I know the door's gonna open. I'm like, oh shit.
But you know what? Peter was so beautiful, and he just went with it because we're gonna have hiccups for a little while, and he was just so great.
He was
just like lovely.
And I'm like, you two bitches need to ask some questions, son of a bitch.
Well, I was like,
stop it.
I didn't know. I was like, Katrina, what would you like to ask? Like, come on.
I was like, well, I don't want to keep him longer than he wants to stay.
I'm like, this dude, I'm like, poor Peter, he's going to be like, these fucking idiots don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yes, he is.
I still got to learn how to produce this thing, man.
And then he's like,
and you know, just doing this today too, like, I'm so going to go and find Rick and Steve again. I want that. It was the best show. It really was. It was like, have you guys seen it? It's so funny.
I've seen it a while ago.
Yeah, it was like 2005 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was watching that, but it was funny.
We'll have to look it up.
And you know what, Kat? I'm so glad you're here today.
Oh,
like, yay. Yeah. And then, like, so literally our next show is Rosie, guys. Like,
yes. Next Tuesday, 9 p.m.
Oh my God.
We got Miss Rosie O'Donnell coming on the show.
And yay, I won't be coming off night shift, so I won't be a zombie on that one.
All right. And Jeffrey will be, well, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey, maybe like lock your door this time. Lock your door.
Listen. I mean, don't get me wrong. And then he's like, then he's got to have them high. I'm like, yeah, well.
We are still live, just so you're aware.
You think I can't?
Jeffrey, we got 2 more
I'm
minutes.
just standing here for nothing?
We got 2 more minutes, Jeffrey.
I know.
Well, you know, look, I'm so excited about where the show's going as well, guys.
I mean,
like, it's so much fun. And I'm sure Rosie's going to be drawing in a lot of different stuff on the chat room.
I just don't want to, like, what happens if I just start to panic and pass out? Can somebody just make sure that clip goes right to Twitter and Instagram, please? If I just
got you.
Pass out,
do you want to do a Wendy where you're just like,
yeah. But she was the Statue of Liberty, and she's just like,
I would actually
I'll go
vote
backwards
that
and
we
like
turn.
blood will splatter on the wall or something.
I want to turn the camera down at your passed out, dead looking body. And just keep it there on the screen.
We'll get James to go down there and film that.
If you hear footsteps, just like booking it. It's me running down the stairs to change the camera position.
Go live is like the freaking.
And then that will also go on the new intro. Every time we go do a show, we just got Jeffrey. And Rosie's just there like,
Well, I do want to say, Katrina, it's very nice to see you. I think we've only met in person once.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
like
And I'm glad
a
that
while ago.
like there's another blonde bombshell again on
Okay.
here.
Right?
Yeah.
This one with this little hijabby he's got right here, hanging from him. It looks like one of those cowboy helmet hat things, you know, that hangs off the cowboy helmet, and you
A
pull
bolo
up.
tie?
Yeah, whatever the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you're.
Like this.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
mic.
I just keep thinking.
Oh, should I hide it? I should put it under my shirt next time. I'll do that.
Probably not.
Oh,
You
actually,
might
no,
get a
because then
little-
it might be muffled.
Yeah, it might be a little muffled.
Oh, and you guys have no idea. I have so much Uncle Vinny, Uncle Lenny, shitbag, death drama stories to fill you guys in on. Next week, I think we're gonna have my cousins on. Next Thursday.
Because they ain't happy with you, are they?
Well, no. Here's the thing. I wasn't kidding. That bitch scooped me at the funeral. She fucking did. The newspaper was there, the local newspaper, and they did an article.
Jeffrey,
But
let's save it till next week. Let's give him something.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Read
We've gone over.
We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Listen.
Wrap your show up, Jeffrey.
I will do whatever the fuck I want.
All right, kids, all love you all. I'm going
Good night,
to sleep
everybody.
after I watch Peter's movie, though.
We will see you guys.
It's coming out Sunday, so go find it. The bitch is scooping. We'll talk about it next week. After Rosie. After Rosie. Oh my God.
See you next Tuesday, guys.
Thank you, Peter.
Bye, guys.
Go watch the thing about Harry, okay?
I'm doing it now.
You're going to love it.
Totes.
Delicious.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
kids.